Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 54, Lamar. We've did something a little bit different. We watched a newly released movie, kind of
Yes.
controversial. So we were like, let's run towards this controversy, see what it's about.
Sure. We'll talk about the controversy a
Yeah.
little bit later, but this was Run, Hide, Fight.
Yep.
And
AKA Die Hard in school.
yeah, pretty much Die Hard in a school with a girl. Has there been a Die Hard with a girl?
Not quite like this.
No.
I mean, the trailer's out. Well, first of all, let's just talk about, the thing everyone's going to think about.
Yes.
The movie, it's a movie that was made previously.
Mm-hmm.
It made the film festivals and all that. And then it got picked up by a site called the Daily Wire, which is like a conservative media outlet.
Associated with Ben Shapiro. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And because of that, the movie has now become kind of polarized as some kind of crazy right-wing fantasy movie or something like this. So now, when I go to watch a movie, there's messages in all movies,
Yeah.
left-wing, right-wing, whatever. I don't even care. What I care about is if I have a good time or not. I care about watching a fun movie. That's all I care. So that's where my review is going to come from. Did I enjoy it or not? That's it.
Yeah, and I agree. I think the hype can't decide for you if you like the movie or not. You're either going to like it or you're not. It's about taste. It's about story, all that good stuff, production. So if you're looking at that, then you have to just let your mind go and be like, okay, is this a good movie or not?
Right.
What do you think, Joe?
It's an average. I find it to be slightly above average movie. It's Die Hard. I've seen this movie at least 100 times in my life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I've seen this movie made and remade and redone 100 times. It was well done, though.
It was.
The production
well
quality, everything was well done.
Mm-hmm. When
But
they're
it's
in
the
the
same
school
story.
and stuff like that. Yeah, and I mean, we're not going to talk too much about the plot, but even when it starts off, you have the hero, they have family problems.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have to go somewhere they don't really want to go. It's almost the end of the year. They have some type of fight about her not opening up. She, as well as, John McClane, has to go to the bathroom while everything pops off.
Yeah.
That's how it starts. That's the movie, and that's what it is.
It's the wrong place, wrong time scenario. They did it a little different. Like, we have a female character, high school girl. I just found it. I found the movie entertaining, because it was well done. There was decent amount of action. The pace was good. Decent amount of tension. But I've just seen it so many times. That's it.
I think it's one of those things where they know it's going to be a Die Hard ripoff, so they're just changing the actual elements, but they didn't really change anything different in the Die Hard soup. Right. She's running around and everything like that. She has to save hostages. The only difference I could say kind of is like the social media aspect. The bad guy wants to broadcast this across
I want to
everywhere.
say we've seen that in a movie somewhere along the way too.
We probably have.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you could say it's like Condemned.
Whatever. Yeah, that's might be what I'm thinking of. Like the Condemned.
It's just like they're projecting it across the web.
They added some elements to it.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's the same. It's not controversial. I don't see the controversy. I find it very stock,
The only controversial thing is the school shooter aspect.
Yeah.
But it's not like saying that the school shooter is like the hero, because he's a jerk. He's a bad person.
Right.
You can't, get away from that. But yeah, it's kind of like, okay, you can swap him out for Hans for Die Hard. So it's not like, oh my gosh, this is something that we should not talk. No, we see it in the news and everything like that. So they don't push the envelope of like, oh, school shooter is good or anything or do anything different. It's just school shooters bad.
Right.
They're the faux terrorists, you would say, and they in the wrong place in the wrong time.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like when you talk about messages, people look at the message like, taking matters into your own hand, and that really is the like the premise of every action movie ever invented. So once again, I can't see how this movie could be demonized for the same thing like every action movie is that plot. It just is.
It just is. I mean, it's Die Hard. It's Speed.
Yep.
It's Under Siege.
Yep.
You can just keep on going. I mean, we did 2 movies by the same name of Blast.
Blast.
That has the same
sudden death
points. Sudden death. Welcome to sudden death.
Welcome to sudden death. Yeah. The whole controversy is like, who is releasing the movie right now? Okay, it's a right-wing media site. But like, once again, I don't care. I just want to see good movies, and I don't judge movies by their message at all.
And even I detected a hint of underlying messages, but it was more goofy and cheesy rather than like trying to say something.
Right.
And then I will say this. I'll say this. The reason I won't like take it to another level is they did the Man of Steel thing.
Yeah.
With the mother. Mm-hmm. You didn't need that part. You don't need the ghost telling the girl to do everything.
Right. I hate that in any movie that I ever see ever. I just hate it. Like Man of Steel. I just don't like when they do that. I get kind of why they do that. It's that driving force, whatever, that conscious thing or whatever, but I just don't like it when they add that into any movie.
And it really didn't enhance anything. Like, if she just did that on her own, she would seem more of a badass if you think about it, because like it's kind of like, well, her dad kind of taught her to survive, but it's like she has to make amends with her mother. It's like,
yeah,
okay. I that's how I felt. It just annoyed me. The actress who plays her is a good actress.
She's very good. Yes.
I didn't care about that part at all.
Yeah, that part. The cast is pretty solid, I thought.
Yeah.
The villains were good. They all had a different kind of dynamic. There was the arrogant asshole villain. There was the kid that was a little like, like
he didn't really on.
He was picked on and stuff. So, and Thomas Jane is in it. I guess we should mention, because he's a bigger actor. But he's in it. He's not in it a lot. Yeah, he plays the dad, but
and Skeet Ulrich, is that his name? Skeet.
I don't know.
Wow, I don't know my actors. Treat Williams.
Okay.
He was in some stuff previously. I think he was in. You remember the Substitute movies?
Yes, I do remember those. Yeah.
That's Treat Williams.
So, I mean, those Substitute movies are more right wing than this, like, the teacher beating up students and stuff.
Got to go into that urban school and teach those kids.
What do we have, like a 2x4 or something? Or a baseball bat or something?
It was something. Yeah. And then he was in a weird movie where a ship got taken over by an octopus, but whatever.
Yeah. There was an episode of Walker like that, where Walker went undercover as a substitute teacher and stuff to beat up drug dealers.
What if that's the next movie that Daily Wire does?
It might be something. I mean, like I said, as long as it's a good movie, I'll watch it. I don't care who makes it. So,
yeah.
No. But what would be your final rating for this?
It's nothing spectacular. It wasn't horrible. I'll give it a 3.5. It was good enough. They're probably doing all this hype to really give the movie like, oh my gosh, it's so controversial. But then you see it and you're like, oh.
You're just kind of meh. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree. Like 3.5 out of 5 for me as well. It's better than the average, but it ain't great. It's just kind of, like you said before, if this was just a Netflix movie and they had nothing to do with it, this would just be a thing that would just come. People would go, okay, that was cool. And then everyone would just forget about it. Yes. It's polarized because of where it's come from now. But
yeah.
Well, I guess that wraps this one up. Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 54. Run, hide, fight. Peace.
Deuces.